Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be doing a video all about how to darken up your eye area, how to have defined eyes when you have hooded lids. I think someone asked me for this video last month maybe, and I thought it was a really good idea because I do have hooded lids, and for the longest time I could not understand where to place the shadow so that you could see it when my eye is open to give the maximum effect of like a smoky eye or a really defined eye. So that's why I wanted to bring you guys this video, so if you're interested please keep watching. Okay, so as you can see I've done everything but my eyes because that's the focal point of this look, and for this look I will be using my Tartelette and Bloom palette because I feel like this is a palette that's easily accessible for a lot of people. I know a lot of people also have this palette. I didn't want to use anything limited edition, and I've used the hell out of the Too Faced chocolate variation palettes on my channel, so I wanted to use something different. Side note, this kind of smells like chocolate to me as well. I don't know if it's just me being hungry, but I smell chocolate. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my eyes. Now I do have hooded oily lids, which makes it even more difficult because you can get a lot of transfer up onto like this part of your eye. So the primer that I found that works the best for me is the Smashbox 24-hour primer. It gives me a really nice matte canvas and I love it. So I'm just gonna put a pea-size amount on both eyes. Now I have already done my entire face, so I've put concealer under my brows and that acts as my highlight. I don't tend to do a shimmery brow highlight just because, I don't know, I've started doing it this way and I really like it. So I'm gonna let that set for a couple of seconds just so that I don't have a tacky surface to work with. Okay, the first color I'm gonna go in with is Smarty Pants, and it is right here. Let's see if I can get a good accurate representation. It's like a neutral, almost skin tone color, flesh tone color, and I'm going to use this brush to apply it. Now the brushes that I'm using, two of them are going to be really essential, and this is the first one. If you're just getting into blending or using eyeshadow, I would highly suggest this brush and another one. I don't think you necessarily have to spend a bunch of money on high quality, well, you want high quality brushes, but that doesn't always mean expensive. I know a lot of my brushes come from Sephora and MAC, but you can find really nice alternatives at Ulta. I know Real Techniques. What's the other brand? NYX has some good brushes. They're just a little hard to find. And then ELF. So this is the Sephora number 31. It's the Pro Smoky Crease, and it's a duo fiber blending brush, and this is going to do all the blending work for you. I promise. Blending is something I even struggle with now because I have some discoloration on my lids, so if I don't blend the colors up enough or blend them out well enough, it can look a little wonky. So I'm just going to tap into that Smarty Pants, tap off some of that excess powder, and I'm just going to concentrate this on my crease area. Now your crease area is going to be where your eye naturally creases. So for me, it would be right there. A good way of finding your crease if you don't really have a natural crease is to close your eye and feel for the end of your eye socket. You can also use that line as well. Now, I like this first step because when you're applying matte shadows especially, they can be really hard to blend out because they're very dry. So one trick I like doing is laying an all over neutral flesh tone color all over my lid so that all the colors are blending into something of a similar texture. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now I'm going to lay my all over lid color. We're going to use the color Sweetheart. It's a pinky tone color right here. So I like using a flat shaded brush to pack color all over my lid, which is this portion of my eye, because I find that densely packed bristles give you a lot of coverage over your eye. They're gonna give you full coverage, full color intensity. So I'm gonna put the color Sweetheart all over my lid. And you see how you just get a full color by tapping? So when you use a flat shaded brush, you don't wanna swipe like you do in your crease. You want to mainly pat. And I do tend to bring this color a little higher than my natural lid just because I do have hooded eyes. Okay, now my next step is going to be to start darkening my crease, and for that I'm going to use my Sephora Pro Tapered Crease brush, which is number 19. Now I really highly suggest this brush if you do have hooded lids, because it's tapered at the top, so it really just fits into that area that you want to apply color very precisely. So that's why I love this brush. These two are my favorite blending eye brushes, especially this tapered one when you really want a defined look. So I'm gonna go in with this brush. Now to darken up my crease, to give me a smoky look, to have defined eyes, I think it's best when you're putting colors on your lid to go from lightest to darkest. You don't wanna start with the darkest color. Well, I mean you can, but I don't like to start with the darkest color because it's easier to build up color intensity and it's harder to dial it down. So I'm gonna first go in with the color Rebel, which is like a red tone brown mid-tone right here. And I'm gonna tap in that once. I'm not gonna dust off any excess product. Let's see if I can bring you guys in a little more. Okay, and I'm gonna go right in my crease. Now I'm gonna place the actual brush a little above my crease, and I'm just going to keep my eye open and wiggle this brush back and forth. Now, you see how this eye instantly looks more defined? I like keeping my eye open because I have hooded lids. It's nice to be able to see where you're actually placing the color. So that's my first step. I'm gonna go and do the same to the other eye. Now, another tip that I like to use is I like to kind of follow the arch of my eyebrow to make the shape of my eyeshadow. So right now, as you can see, the shape of my eye is very like an oval, but I have a nice arch under my brow. So I'm gonna take a little more of that color on my first brush I use for my blending out the crease. I'm gonna tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna bring a little of that color upwards. Okay, that's gonna give me more color to the actual eye look by bringing the color up a little bit. So now that I've blended the first color, I'm gonna go back into Rebel, tap it in once, and do the same thing. This time I'm gonna concentrate a little on my outer corner as well as right above my crease. Just wiggling the brush back and forth. Like literally, that's all I'm doing. So can you tell that we're getting a little darker and a little more, we're getting more depth to the eye look. I'm gonna do the same for the other eye. Now, the last color I'm going to apply to my lid is going to be this deep color called Leader, which is right here. So as you can see, I've just pretty much gone with the look of this palette and used this color, and this color to gradually give me some intensity. And I'm gonna use that same brush we just used, tap into Leader once, not knock off the excess, go right into that crease area, and concentrate this on the outer V area. See how this side now looks a little darker? I'm gonna tap in once again and focus on the outer V of this eye. See how I'm just gradually building the color intensity? Okay. Gonna do the same for this eye. Now my last step is gonna be to take that same shader brush I used in the beginning and go with that same color on my lid, which is Sweetheart, and just go in again and kind of go back over my lid, because as you blend sometimes you lose the intensity of the lighter color on the lid. Then I'm gonna take the first crease brush we use and just diffuse that so there are no harsh lines. Okay, and then the last step is going to be to kind of dust off the top of this brush and blend everything on top together. So putting no extra color on it. Just want to make sure the outer edges are blended seamlessly. So as you can see, I have really defined eyes. It is a version of a smoky eye, but it's done in a way that when my eyes are open, you can still see the darkness. Now, if I were to have put it actually in my actual crease, when my eyes are open, you wouldn't be able to see it. So the trick for me with hooded eyes or smaller eyes, when you really want to build up intensity, just put it up a little higher and then diffuse it out really well. Now, another tip I like doing for my bottom lashes to give my eye a little more intensity is to kind of do the same what I did on top on the bottom. But I'm not actually going to do all that today, but I'm going to take first the color Rebel, which was the first color we diffused in our crease, and I'm going to put it on the tip of that shader brush, and I'm going to put it on my lower lash line. I'm gonna put it about half the way in. I find that this really just helps to finish the eye look off really nicely. And then for the outer half, I'm going to use the darker color leader and kind of connect it to this outer edge. Now the last step will be mascara and lashes. I'm going to apply those and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so as you can see, well, let me zoom in a little bit. I have applied lashes. Now that's another tip. Lashes really just take your look to the next level, I promise. If you ever feel that your eyes look a little unfinished, just apply some lashes on. I promise it will just give you really nicely defined eyes. So yeah guys, I hope this video was easy enough to follow. This is literally how I do all my smoky eyes, my defined eye looks. As you can see, I have on lashes, but you can still see the darkened crease area. I promise if you follow these steps and you have smaller eyes, if you have hooded lids, anything like that, get a tapered brush and a really nice blending brush for your crease, and I promise it will make it a lot easier. So I hope this video was helpful. I will leave the shadow I used, the primer, the lashes, the mascara, and all the brushes down below. If you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down below as well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.